Success isn't a map you can follow. It starts with a spark of curiosity for the unknown, dedication for the unlearned, and innovation to pave the way for the next generation of leaders. These are the makings of our entrepreneurs who are redefining this industry by bringing the real in real estate. Real people, real experiences, real excellence. Welcome to the Real Relentless Podcast by Century 21 Tri-Cities, a real estate brokerage in Eastern Washington. On this episode, we're learning about new construction from this dedicated top agent, Keely Sterba, who represents Titan Homes.
I'm Keely Sterba with Century 21 Tri-Cities, and I'm a realtor.
How did you become familiar with new construction?
So I've been a realtor for 8 years, and I have been representing a local builder here for 6 years. And right away, when I was a brand new agent, some of the other agents here, I kind of got my foot in the door and did open houses and covered and stuff. So I started getting familiarized with new construction really right off the bat. And then it, led into getting my own builder, and here I am still today.
What is it like working with a builder? How do you go out and initiate that type of partnership?
So they pick you. I mean, I think it can depend on the situation, and because I guess there are realtors out there that will go seek a builder and say, hey, come on over to my team. But this particular builder was already with Century 21 and looking for more representation, and so between him and Vicky, they picked me to be the next one in line. And Vicky knew as well that was one of my goals, was to be, everybody has their own. Some people like commercial or whatever, and that was one of mine. And so she already knew, and so she felt I was ready. So
what are the steps to getting into new construction?
There's just a lot of learning, and they're still learning. It's a different world. New construction is definitely different, and you're with the client for 4 to 6 to 9 months, depending on the builder and their build time. So it's not a quick 30 to 45 day, close, and the buyer has the home. You're basically there and help see them through the process, as well as the builder you're representing as well through the process until the end.
What do you love about it?
I love it, the wide variety of options that you have for a buyer. You get so many buyers. You're showing homes out there for resale, and there's just so much that no house is perfect, but it's nice to be able to customize and, make it your own. And I found the land that we're at in West Village and Badger Mountain South. And I actually, even from ground up, figured out the floor plans that would fit on it and presented that to the builder. And then that's when we started out there. So that whole learning process really got me in. And, and I really enjoyed that. And, but yeah, I'm in it, and I love it. And yeah.
What do you notice people don't know when they get into new construction?
A lot of people don't know that, well, for one, every builder is different. So you can shop 5 different builders, and they're each going to have their own process. So you can't expect the same builder, every builder to offer the same things or the same process or the same quality of product either. And but a lot of them don't realize the timeline of the build, what's required as far as deposits throughout the build potentially, or how much up front, and how much they actually get to customize their home. And again, that depends on the builder themselves as well.
How have you seen that landscape change over the last few years?
Yes, definitely. And of course, especially this last year, last year when we were all on lockdown, Titan just kept going and kept building and kept closing on homes, and it was a great year. And this year, all the builders are still going, of course, but it's a different year with lumber and supplies. They're running out of so many things that you wouldn't even imagine that they can't find, and places don't have them, and things that you take for granted, that you can't get anymore or whatever, or it's on back order for months on end, and it's a different ball game out there. And a lot of builders are doing specs just because it's a little easier right now with a wild market. But life will get back to the old way one of these days. So
how do you explain that to clients then?
It's hard. I've seen that a lot recently, actually. And then they want to build, especially they come to my builder, to Titan, who they've heard so much good things about. And we definitely want to take care of them. But it's just, you got to kind of guide them and explain the market to them. And, they know what's going on. Nobody's been living under a rock. Everyone knows what's going on as far as COVID and all that stuff. But explain more in details of what we're seeing on the new construction side. And that might just be better to, hang tight. And the interest rates aren't supposed to go crazy too soon. Yeah, they're going to increase a little bit, but they're not supposed to go, skyrocket. So there's time. And these builders all around us are still putting in specs. So we could find the buyer a spec, and find one that they would like. Because all builders out there are still producing beautiful product. So
what are some things people should look out for when working with a home builder?
Little secrets. Well, honestly, it's better to just not to go into it with an open mind, especially in this market. If you are doing a pre-sale, and to understand that you're not going to be able to necessarily get everything that you want. That's just not our market, and it's not necessarily how anything works. And just to be patient with the builder and know that each of our builders are doing the best they can for the given circumstances. And so first time home buyer, they may go into it thinking, my mom and dad built a house 15 years ago, and it was, so now I'm ready to do it. It's different. It's different than it was when your mom and dad built 15 years ago. And it's not necessarily going to be the same process. So. And just to lean on your realtor and trust in your realtor and the builder rep for the advice, and trust in them that you're being taken care of.
What's your favorite part when working with someone?
My favorite part is seeing the end product come together, because no matter how smooth or maybe stressful or whatever, because everything gets a little crazy sometimes, the process is I love seeing the buyer at the very end. We do the orientation at the end, and it's like all their stress goes out the window. They see this beautiful home before them that they customized, and they picked out the colors and this and that, and it's their home. And that's what I like to see. And then handing the keys over and knowing that they're super happy buyers in their brand new home that you're taken care of.
What's your favorite thing about Titan Homes?
My favorite thing is honestly the team. I have the best team in Titan out there, and they are a great group of guys. And then we have our QC team and a couple gals in the office too. And it's just a great team, and makes it a good process. I've been out there long enough, I just know that I'm working with the best. And my builder particularly he's a great guy. He has a heart of gold. He's a great businessman, but he takes care of his people, and including his team, his realtors, which are his team, and his buyers. That's his main goal, So, and that's what you want to see in a builder, is that a builder that cares about his buyers.
Can you recall a time where you and the builder came in and saved the day?
I'll have to think. I mean, I'm sure that's happened, because no situation is perfect, but I know we've had a few deals. We had one in Pasco, actually. Obviously won't say names or anything like that. And they upgraded the house so much, and I warned them that they better be careful, that they're out outpricing the area and it's not going to appraise. And it didn't. It came in 80,000 low. And so, of course, that's the first time I ever had a low appraisal, and I was freaking out a little bit and did the best I could. So what I did is I worked with the appraiser. I said, let's do this together. So he allowed me to pull many comps as I could to send to him. And I was able to get it to 50,000 low. And then luckily the buyers were in a position that they were able to make up that difference. But if it wasn't for the teamwork of, between me and the appraiser, he was great to work with, and then Titan as well, working together. But that's not something you ever want to go to your builder and say, this appraised low. But I told them so, so it's kind of hard to, that's why I said earlier, you got to lean on the advice of your realtor. People want all these things, but sometimes you got to put a limit to it. You can't just overprice your area, or you're not going to appraise. So I would say that's what sticks out in my head most with a situation.
Anything in particular that people should look for when working with builders?
Not in particular, just that the process can be very smooth. It can be a great experience for any and all buyers, first time home buyers to empty nesters, to growing families, all that. It definitely can be one of the best experiences out there. If you're picking, you just got to make sure when you do builder shop, you're picking the right builder for you, that that you're going to work well with. And the same with your agent. When you're picking an agent, even in resale, it all, if people can't work as a team, it doesn't always mesh well. So, but with the new construction, it can definitely be a very great experience with, with just going forward, having an open mind. And some people rush into, I like the way this builder does this or that. Well, but do you like everything else? Is it going to be a good process? Because if you don't like everything else, maybe it's not a good fit, because then you're not going to be happy in the end. If you pick one that fits great, it's going to be something that you're going to sit in your house and have family get-togethers and be like, yeah, this was a great experience, so.
Do you get nervous?
I do a little bit. Where I'm at in Badger Mountain South, it's South Richland by the Richland Mercantile there. There's West Vineyard that we just opened phase 2 of West Vineyard. And then there's West Village. They're like right by each other, and they're actually going to connect. But there's plans to just keep opening. There's tons of farm land there that they're just going to keep opening up and extending closer and closer to the freeway and just go that way. So there's lots of opportunity there. But I always get, and that's why when my builder had seen it in the years past and just wasn't the right time. But then when we sat down and talked about it, he felt it was the right time. So, and it is, because now it's been a great area to live. I live out there, and to build and sell homes. But as long as those farms continue to sell and they continue to work through with the developer, I know so West Village is done after this phase. And then there's South Orchards is the next subdivision, and that's going to be opening, I think, summer of 2022. And then we'll go through all those phases, and then the next. I think there's a total of five subdivisions that are in total will be done out there. And but I do get nervous in the sense that at any time things could change. And I know there's a lot of other areas that don't necessarily have a lot of land, so I do feel fortunate to have the dirt that I have, to build specs or whatever, pre-sales, anything, because I could be in other situations where there's not so much. I think a lot of people are looking at Benton City and Prosser and just keep going, because it's starting to look, scarce. But I also feel like there's always something up somebody's sleeve that they've got. There's dirt out there somewhere. So
what is the process like when building with Titan?
The process with building a home can vary depending on builder, of course, but they're all similar in a way. you pick a floor plan, obviously, and a lot if they're doing pre-sales. And there's a deposit that's always due. It goes towards the down payment, but depending on the builder, sometimes they're $5,000, sometimes they're up to 3.5% of the purchase price. Every builder is different in what they require. Some builders require 50% of the upgrades throughout the build. Some don't, and then some, it might just depend on the actual upgrade. But from beginning to end, is you go under contract on the lot and the home itself as a package, and then with that deposit, and then you build along with choosing your selections and whatnot, and then then your home is completed, and that's when you, like I said, your deposit is non-refundable, but then it gets deposited or credited towards you at the end. And then, so it's a simple process contract-wise. It's just, not a lot of paperwork in the middle or anything like that, but it's just more you're controlling your build and what you're putting into the home. So,
are there specific questions you always get asked?
The most questions I would say I get asked are, of course, what's the build time? With Titan Homes, it's 5 months from permit. So, but like I said, every builder is different on that. And a lot of people ask, well, how much can I customize, or can I do this, or can I do that? And again, that depends on the builder. Some builders just have, a sheet of selections to choose from, A, B, and C, or gold package, silver package. And then some builders, let you customize a lot more. So again, it just depends on the builder and what they offer. And that's why it's good for the buyer, like I was saying earlier, to connect with the builder that's good for them. Some people don't necessarily like having all the options. It gets overwhelming, but some people need to have all the options. So it just kind of varies, but it's fun. But yeah, I would say that's the most question. And then other than that, the deposit. People always ask, what's the deposit? And depending on the builder.
What was one of the most memorable homes that you've seen built?
The most memorable, honestly, was last year's parade home that Titan did. Of course, it was during COVID, but it was Titan's first farmhouse. They didn't used to offer a farmhouse package, and that is something that I came up with and presented, of course, to Vicki first, and then sat down with the builder and presented it to him, and he said he'd take it and run with it, and did a phenomenal job. So the first farmhouse was the Parade of Homes in West Village, and it turned out so gorgeous, and I loved being a part of that, and loved that it was the Parade of Homes. Did win some awards, and it just adorable, wonderful, and it just felt good to see my idea come to life there, and then to be presented on the Parade of Homes. So it was really cool. And then, like I said, being Titan, they just took my idea and ran with it, and I knew they would, and turn it into just absolutely phenomenal. So
how do you even make that happen?
So I did a lot of research with Farmhouse, and then I created a packet, and I actually did little binders for each of the builder and stuff that came to the meeting, and Vicki. And, I came up with what I thought would be a farmhouse package, so that way people can choose, I want the farmhouse package. And then, because not everybody wants that. And then they can just Titan standard as stucco and, go from there. But if you like the farmhouse, then it's gonna be a set cost, and then you get such and such items. So I went through and I just came up with, the black windows, the white siding, the black awning, the exit, the island, like all these things that you come up with. And then I saw the grid shower doors, and a lot of it came from Pinterest. Saw the grid shower door, and so I took pictures of all that, put it together, and he loved it. And of course, like I said, he put his twist on it. It was awesome. But it makes it easy for people, because we've sold several of those. He'll do specs with the farmhouse, but then we also have had a few people with pre-sales say, I want the farmhouse package. And it just turns out great, because then they know they're getting these specific items, and then they can add to it more if they want, like with their lighting fixtures or whatnot, if they want it more rustic or whatever. But it was definitely fun. Pinterest was my best friend during that time. And the other thing I found online at the time was Cafe Series appliances. They are so gorgeous. They're white with like a coppery, handles. And they just look awesome. So Titan started getting those are hard to get right now, I guess. But they were getting those, and they look beautiful in the farmhouse. It just looks great. So that was fun. And I even built a little farmhouse little mini one to present to my builder at the time of the presentation. And it was cute and it was fun. I painted the house. I found a little birdhouse at home, Michael's, painted it white, and I found roofing for like doll houses. So I roofed it myself, and then I turned it into this little farmhouse. And so it's cute. So it's. So they've been putting it up in the models, and I actually got to find. They're the last ones that had it, so I think they put it out in the farmhouse models. So yeah. So yeah, it was fun, and I like doing that kind of stuff too. Anyways, and so being able to present that idea, I know not all ideas are necessarily good ideas, but that one worked out. And it's worked out really well. People love the Titan farmhouse. So and it was great in the parade too. So,
any new styles or trends coming out?
I haven't. I know that the farmhouse is still good, but I haven't seen anything new out there. I know that they did have a builder show, and then I think it got shut down because of COVID. But one of these years, I'd like to go that, because then you can see the new trends and what's coming and what's going out and stuff like that. But I think farmhouse it's more modern farmhouse, but as long as Chip and Joanna Gaines are out there doing their thing, I think farmhouse is going to be a thing for quite a while. So everybody wants what they're doing. So.
Okay. Are honeycomb tiles a trend right now?
I haven't necessarily, I've seen some of that done. Yes. I wouldn't necessarily say I don't think it's a trend, but I think people are kind of, when they're trying to do something a little different. I've even seen in the farmhouse tiling, they're doing like the farmhouse look. Some of it looks a little hexagon but it's got a farmhouse twist to it, like with the floral. So yeah, I don't know. They're getting creative out there. That's for sure. Gotta try new things. But I'm sure, and I think we're honestly, if you go somewhere else, we're like, oh, that's old news. I think we're kind of behind a little bit, but I think the trends in other areas are, a little bit different. I'm Keely with Century 21 and Titan Homes. Thank you for listening today. And if you have any questions about new construction, potential interest in proceeding and taking the step in possibly building or something, and feel free to reach out to me at 572-8492.
That's the end of this podcast. We hope you learned some valuable information regarding new construction. Check back every other week for new podcasts, and thanks for listening.